Hello everyone, this is the great Lord and Master, Osiron, the Eternal, or the artist formerly known as the Great Roberto. This should be the third and final part of the series of the Tarot and the True Tree of Life. There's just a couple of key points I want to get out that I didn't get out in the first two videos. If you remember, the first video dealt mainly with the Sephiroth in the order of emanation of the tarot trumps. And then the second video, which is really one of the most powerful videos that I've ever made, never mind, in this series, it shows how the tarot trumps mathematically confirm that this is the true tree of life in the order of the Sephiroth, using 0 through 9, the single digit code as a format, is the proper key. In this third video, I want to show sort of what happens. It sort of show that what happens when you apply the improper math. Because one thing about this, see, this isn't Jewish or Hermetic. This is geometric. This pattern here, the Tree of Life pattern, fits into what's called the Flower of Life. And that is just a series of intersecting circles that form a pattern in geometry. And there's the Seed of Life, which is like 6 or I think it's like either 6 of those or 7 of those or something like that. And then that expands out to a bigger grid, and that's called the Flower of Life. And this is the Tree of Life. And you have the Seed of Life, which is the small one, and then a bunch of other things. But it's all geometry. It's all based on geometry. So what this tells you, this beautifully shows you what happens if you use the wrong math and how toxic it is. And I want to show you that today. Because in the second video I showed how if using proper math, using the proper code of 0 through 9, as opposed to 1 through 10, it makes this come alive beautifully. It puts the 3, the feminine mask of Kundalini on the pillar of Boaz, where it belongs. It puts the masculine mask of Kundalini 6 on the pillar of Yakim, where it belongs. And it puts in the middle pillar 3-6, which reduces to 9, in the middle pillar, a balanced combination of the two. Beautifully presented. And the 22 pathways that connect to Sephiroth, the beauty of that is that's not some arbitrary number. The beauty of it is that the Sephiroth tell you how many trumps to use with 22. So all of it comes from this. Everything that happens with this comes from it. There is no outside interjection of conjecture or belief or anything like that. This is all mathematic. This is all sound. It's all congruent within itself. But now, what happens when you use the Tree of Death and Stagnation as a format, which is 1 through 10, putting 1 up here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then 10, like that? Well, see, the Hermeticists in the Tarot, they changed the number of 22 from 0 through 21. Now, how the Jews have it, or would have it, they wouldn't use 0 like that. They put 1 here for Aleph, and then it goes all the way down to 22 of the world in the manifestation from from what they call 9 to 10. It goes 22 there. So, but what happens when you do that like that? That radically changes the mathematics of this. What happens when you do that is the 9 that belongs in the middle pillar gets shifted to the masculine pillar. So that's saying that the masculine pillar, or the masculine aspect of creation, is all powerful. Probably sounds familiar, right? Abrahamism. And then the middle pillar, which is rightfully the home of the 9, 3 and 6 to come 9, 36, becomes feminized with the 3. So the entire middle pillar, which is supposed to be the root and the strongest balanced aspect of the tree of life, becomes completely feminized, subservient to the masculine. Again, Abrahamism. Then what happens is the 6 lands on the pillar of Boaz, which is saying that it takes what should be the 3, the root feminine essence, and it makes it masculinized, so it masculinizes the pillar. Now, in culture and society today, we're seeing trends of men becoming effeminate, more and more effeminate. We're also seeing women, a lot of women, becoming much more masculine. We're seeing, it's taking the concept of the androgyne, which we all are, and perverting it. Because all of us as beings have both masculine and feminine aspects, and we should cultivate them. And how do we do that? Well, the single digit code tells us how to do that. We embrace 0 through silent meditation, and in doing so become receptive and feminine, and then the Logos speaks to us, and then we take what we learned there and then act on it. The single digit code tells you all of this. The other way is perverse. You got the 1, and then, as I explained in the first video, I don't need to get into that again. Just watch that if you want to get a breakdown of that. But this is about showing you what happens if you apply toxic or improper math to this structure of geometry. See, this is the very nature of existence telling you that that's improper math. Because if you do it right with the proper key, 0 through 9, it tells you that it balances harmoniously and it works beautifully and perfectly. Just changing that one number throws everything into discord, but it's not really discord, because it's still, the elements are still in place. It just shifts them and moves them around and perverts them in a way to where it's very destructive and domineering. And that's why we see in our culture today such insanity. I mean, human beings are just becoming more and more insane with each passing day. You got men who become more and more effeminate. You got women who are becoming more and more masculinized. You know what I mean? And it is just destroying humanity. I mean, it absolutely is. And it goes all the way back to the very root of this. See, Abrahamism has different fractals. Abrahamism is a slave's religion. That's why I say that. But this is the Kabbalistic, the Jewish Kabbalistic representation of what happens when you disrupt nature. This is saying this in this system. And the Hermeticists tried to give us the tools to fix that, and they did, thankfully. But then, they only gave us half of the code. See, they didn't change the Sephiroth. They just gave us the proper code within the trumps. And then even still, they didn't swap the 1 and the 2. And I think the reason why that became like it is, well, that's kind of speculation, because the Jews don't acknowledge the tarot. See, the tarot isn't Jewish, you know what I mean? So this tree of life using the numbers isn't based on tarot. The imagery of the tarot was designed or implemented to conform to this. It wasn't, designed with the tarot in mind. The tarot just shows you what's going on. But the numbers, the numbers tell the story. So the numbers tell the story. And I always say, on my Facebook page, that the true Holy Bible is the single digit code of 0 through 9. That's all you need to know, because once you know that key applies to everything. Your life, it applies to geometry, applies to mathematics, everything. And that is just so simple. Acknowledge 0, become feminine and receptive, and then act. The other way is, act first, think later. You know what I mean? It's just a completely backwards and domineering system. Doing it the other way, it not only perverts the tree in the math and geometry of it, but it perverts the masculine aspect too. Because right now in this world, the masculine aspect is poisoned. Because most men are completely afraid of their feminine natures. And you can't be. You can't be. Because a true man of power is going to embrace his feminine aspects and his feminine natures. His feminine nature. You have to. And even women too. I mean, women, women do the same thing, but women as beings are just more polarized to the feminine, but they still have to acknowledge and act on their masculine selves too, because their actions in the world is their masculine expression. How they move in the world, how they act in this world is their masculine expression. So we as beings both have both sides, but we're just, as beings, where each of us we're polarized to one sexuality to be more dominant physically, but that's just because that's how we grow and create. That's how we create babies, and make more of our species. But but as far as on the higher aspect of ourselves, we have both polarities, and we need to be healthy in both polarities. And men especially need to learn this, because we need to be able to embrace the feminine aspects of ourselves so we can act with beauty as our guide. Because once you do this and you embrace the beauty of the world, that's your only guide. Every action that you ever take in life should be filtered through the prism of beauty, and then you can't go wrong. But we don't see that in this world. We see perversion, we see insanity, we see all kinds of discord going on, because this gets neglected, this gets thrown by the wayside, and this shows mathematically that Abrahamism does that by design. That's why I am so vocal about the toxicity of Abrahamism, because it's designed to destroy, it's designed to suppress and suffocate the feminine, enslave the feminine, and it's designed to turn humanity into a slave race. That's exactly what it's designed to do from its very root, and this shows up Kabbalistically. So, again, with this, there's so much going on here. To cover every aspect of it, we'll just get into this minutia about it. But if you draw this up yourself and put the numbers in here and look at it and play with it, you're going to see a lot of amazing things jump out. Like, I'll point out one of them right now. The number 19 and 17, when you combine that, it comes to 36, which reduces to 9. So, and this is it. And once those divine elements infuse into 8, then it becomes heaven on earth. See, the true tree of life is heaven on earth. It is. This is what this represents, is heaven on earth. So the manifestations of the physical are so harmonious and congruent to divinity that it has no choice but to be a divine expression of glory and beauty here on earth. And that's what this the true tree of life represents. So thank you for listening and watching, and I hope I conveyed the message properly. Thank you.